record. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay, so this is my first time doing a PowerPoint, so forgive me if I make mistakes. But my subject is phonics, and I found that, I teach pre-K, and so I really deal with phonics every single day. And so this was amazing to me to really get into this research and kind of connect, readings from our textbook compared to, I went through Montessori training. And so to be able to connect that to Montessori training, I think was also interesting. So why teach phonics? And I found that, phonics instruction has gone through many phases in and out of popularity over the past, 20 years. And there has been a kind of evolution in the way that we teach and understand phonics. And, I read through the textbook, and it said that, whole language for a time was, taught, and then as last resort, phonics. And then phonics drills, which it said you drill is, what did they say, drill and kill. So they say scientists and teachers have become more aware of the importance of teaching phonics to help children with early reading. And I think rightly so, because I see in my classroom it's working. So what is phonics? And phonics is an understanding of the relationship between letters, graphemes, and sounds, phonemes. And this was an article by Vaughn and Lillian Thompson. And in order to master phonics, children must learn 44 speech sounds, and there are over 100 different spellings. And I know in our particular school, we use a program called Spalding Phonics. And we do go through all of that, where we teach, the phonics, but then also the letter sounds and all of the different, ways that you can spell this. And it carries through. This is a little guy. He's 5 years old, and he's doing a movable alphabet, which is a Montessori tool, but he's taking those letter sounds and now learning how to build words from pictures and then connecting it with the actual print to check his work. And this is a really popular work in the classroom. Phonics instructions provides key knowledge and skills needed for beginning reading. However, phonics should not be the entire reading program, but should be integrated with other elements such as language activities, story time, small group tutoring to create a reading program. And it says children make letter sound connections using letter objects. And so here in this picture, a little boy has an object, and he's connecting that letter sound to the object. Allowing children to play with these items really creates a relationship and takes away that anxiety in the classroom. So they have, he has a robot, and so he's doing robot, and then also connecting that writing to the phonics. Learning the alphabet. Alphabetic knowledge is also known as alphabetic recognition, involves knowing the shapes, the names, sounds, letters, and progresses from letter names to shapes to sound. Here is the sandpaper letters, where this child is connecting objects. The sound has been introduced, and so now he's making that connection, the wagon, octopus, bug. I think that's just a great way to really reinforce that phonetic sound. Here are some charts that I found. The following chart shows that the most common sounds made by each letter. And I thought this was really interesting, the way that they broke down, the percentage of, for example, is 66% of the time we use the letter sound I. And so I really keep that in mind when you're teaching those initial letter sounds and how children hear these from a day-to-day basis. It's important to teach the most common sound for each letter first. And this again was by Vaughn and Lillian Thompson. What should be included in phonics instruction? I think the crucial elements of phonics and word study are phonological and phonemic awareness, print awareness, alphabetic knowledge, alphabetic principle, decoding, reading practice with decodable text, irregular or high frequency words, and reading fluency. And how much time you spend on each of these elements will depend on the age and level of your students. You know, I mean, some of you guys are teaching older students, so this looks very different for you. But, you know, if you have a younger child, as that child participates in phonics and word study activities, their understanding of the conventions that govern language will increase. And here's a little one in my classroom. And you can see she's just getting that relationship going.
I spelled red. I spelled red. Hen. Hey, John.
And she's so proud. Writing and phonetic instruction. Writing is an important means to develop awareness of the individual sounds in words. And as children write, they look closer at how letters are used to form words and construct a system to the spelling or phonetic conventions of written text. As with reading, lots of writing does improve phonetic knowledge. And I think, you know, that was made clear to me when I went through Montessori training, was so much of what they taught was writing actually comes before reading, and how to really incorporate that into the language of learning to read in phonics. This little girl is making her CVC words, and you know, it's making words is used to help readers develop the ability to spell words to apply this knowledge within decoding. In this procedure, young children learn to make 6 or 7 letter words, you know, and in our case, we're making much smaller words and using a limited number of cards. And so you can see she has her letter cards, you know, the t, ah, t, and she's actually building out and then writing those words and then, you know, reading them out loud, which is great. I think once children know these 4-letter sound associations, teachers should begin regular word reading and building activities. For example, students who have learned the letter sound correspondences for it, p, n, and s can begin applying them to reading words such as it, in, pit, pin, sit, sip, and tip. Teaching them the short sound for a can more than double the number of words they can read and write. And again, this is Vaughn and Thompson. It says letter sound knowledge. Children are able to begin the work of reading without knowing all their letter sounds. And I see this every day. This is a common practice in Montessori, and I think in pre-K across, I mean, it works. And again, this is a little girl, and she's just beginning that relationship with the phonic letter sound.
Okay, now the next one. Let's sound it out. What does this letter say? Ah. What about this letter? Ah. What about this letter? Ah. Ah. What does that sound like? Cat. Yeah, sounds like cat. Can you put that word by cat? Okay, now let's go get the words so you can build.
Okay. So numerous are the ways in which we can teach phonics to children. And I think phonics instruction is not a one-size-fits-all way of teaching. And most importantly, we must follow the child in order to determine which phonic method works best for him or her. And why do we know? And what we do know is that phonics creates a strong base for children to further their understanding of written language. And I've just applied for further study if you guys want to look into. I found that the Vaughn and Lillian Thompson article was great. And then also I just pulled from our readings from the book this week. So thank you.
And that's fine. Actually, the videos really helped showcase what it was you do with the kids through the Montessori method. So that was really fun to watch. That was really fun. Does anybody have any questions for Sonia? Sorry, Sonia. Sonia or Sonia? I know I just...
Sonia.
Okay.
I do have
Okay.
a question. I had a comment. I love that the chart where it says like the percentage of like the frequency of seeing it. I know I've given something like that similar to teachers before, especially when it comes to like, let's say vowel consonant E or AY that says long A or AI in the middle of the word. And it really helped teachers make these instructional decisions about how much time do I devote to a particular sound based on the frequency. But it also like, I mean, you didn't have to go into super detail with kids, but they could tell kids like, oh, this one's going to happen more often when kids were spelling, because we'd always pair it. I love that you did that too with that phoneme graphing mapping, and kids were able to be like, oh, I should go to this one first because it's more likely to occur than this one. I think it's a great resource. I love that you included that in there.
Thank you. I thought it was so interesting. When
Yeah, it goes on. I have huge ones like that. I also love Sharon Vaughn. So she was my boss last year, and she's fantastic.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so all this stuff is like amazing. I love phonics. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you.
I am so jealous, Alexa. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Okay, cool. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Tanya, and like I said, I every time I see a presentation, and it's like our last day of meeting for this class, I believe. Every time some dress that I've already seen, it's always brand new. We learned something a little bit different, which is great. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, Alexa did hers, and I have had Sonia do hers. Does anybody want to volunteer to go next? Awesome. Okay. Okay, so Rhonda, right?
Yes.
Awesome, Rhonda. Okay, you know how to do the sharing?
I've never done it before, so.
Oh, it's okay. You kind of mouse down to the bottom of your screen. There's a little green button that says share. Click on it, a window is going to pop up, and it's going to ask you to choose a screen. You want to choose the one over on this, well, your computer side that says desktop. And then once you click share screen, we should be able to see what you're seeing.
Choose the one that says desktop. I definitely don't see that.
Yeah, do you see share screen?
I see.
At the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you click on it, a window is going to pop up. And it'll give you a selection or choice, and the top left-hand corner should say desktop, and that should be the one you click on. There we go. We're seeing it. Perfect. Okay, Rhonda, and I'll start the timer whenever you get started, whenever you're ready to start. Oh.
What happened?
It looks like it's trying to pull it up. It's just looks like it's thinking. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Right.
Okay, I guess I must have misunderstood the actual gist of the
No.
assignment.
No, we're doing fluency, and you were able to address it in any way you wanted to, Rhonda. So just take it away and talk to us about fluency. That's basically it.
Okay, so I teach second grade, and the way that we do fluency is by having them read a passage, and it's the same passage, over and over, and we just have them track, their miscues and what they misread and everything like that. But I found a video that does it differently by using a word map, and so I just inserted that video, and that's what my presentation is that video. So for teachers, screening, diagnosing, and progress monitoring are essential to make sure that all students become fluent readers. And most often we use the word per minute procedure, and it can definitely work for teachers in doing fluency. But like I said, this video is using a word map, so it was something different that I saw, and I'm actually going to try to implement it in my classroom from now on instead of doing the same thing over and over. And it's from Reading Rocket's fluency lesson.
For some reason, we can't hear them, though. I don't know why.
Can you hear it?
No, we can't hear it. Okay. Let me see. So that's, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up for you too. So that's from Reading Rockets, and
Yes. It's a YouTube.
Let me see what I can do.
video.
Yeah. Let's see. YouTube. Come on, computer. My computer's being a little bit slow too. Let's see. Go, 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 go. Here we go. Okay. Reading Rockets. Fluency. And it was let me see. Here it is. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna kind of take over the screen. Let me see if it'll let me. I think it will. Here we go. View option. Go to Rhonda. I think I could take over.
Okay.
Oh, I can. Yeah. Let me see. I just do this. And then share screen. Let me see if I can get I'm able to. I'm going to try really hard to get this to work. So y'all let me know if y'all can hear it off of mine. I don't know, but let's find out. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Good. Come on, sound.
King's Cup has returned. 105%
Can y'all hear the ad?
action and the exact same amount of YouTube
Okay,
videos.
cool.
How
All right,
about
let me skip the ad. You don't want to see that.
Welcome back to Rainbow. Teacher Matt McDonald leads a daily after-school class for 2nd and 3rd grade struggling reading at Salem Elementary.
We're going to start off today by doing the word web.
This reading program called RAVO directly targets fluency, ability to read aloud without hesitations or false starts, and with good inflection that can only come from under the text.
The RAVO program was the direct outgrowth of our understanding that at least 2/3 of the children were actually not receiving any emphasis at all on fluency. So the RAVO program was really specifically designed to have the children not only be able to decode, but decode rapidly and with comprehension. If I go out and I were to see someone with a bat, where might I see someone using one? Fenn Park, yes.
Today,
That's a
Ms.
pretty
McDonald is
popular
exploring the
place.
different meanings of a single word.
Does anyone know what
Dr. Becker, I think the sound went out. I can't quite hear. Can you, I don't know if anybody else can.
ready to learn and very excited, and the fact that the skills are things that they can accomplish, and they look at themselves in their own way. They look at themselves as readers.
Organized around one core word a week, a tool called a word web makes multiple meanings. Kids expand the web by adding words or phrases with related meanings.
Let's move on now to this kind of a bat. Casey?
A fruit bat.
A fruit bat. And where does a fruit bat go, Casey? Where would you find it?
At a fruit tree.
At a fruit tree. Do you know what they call animals that are right? Give it a try. Go ahead.
Nocturnal animals.
You are correct. Nocturnal animals. Excellent.
A rich knowledge of words helps build fluency.
Fluency is one piece of the entire process. The more rapid you are, the more time you can actually allocate to understanding what you've read.
It's like riding a bike. You watch little ones beginning to ride a bike, they're wobbling all over the place. They fall down, don't have the process well consolidated. But as we go along as kids and we begin to practice and just just even think about pedaling anymore until it gets hard. We don't think about keeping the bike straight and running. No.
Ravo combines vocabulary building exercises like the word web with lessons specifically designed to speed code. These two ingredients are the key to any good fluency program. And sure enough, this after-school program has produced.
Guys and girls, look at all the words we came up with from one little word bet.
Awesome. That was really interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that procedure before. So you're going to try that with your students, Rhonda?
Yes, ma'am, I am, because I just feel like they're intimidated with having to read a whole passage and not really understanding a whole lot of the words that they're reading. So just to focus on one word for me would be better, because in my classroom right now, I have a lot of low readers. So I think starting with that process would be less intimidating for them.
Great. Okay, awesome. All right, so it was just fine. We're able to actually see the video, which was great. I know that was the focus of your presentation, and that was fine, Rhonda. They're all going to be different, and I think you'd already asked me can I do the video, and absolutely, it was a great way to kind of show one strategy that's been shown as being effective for raising students' fluency. So that was really interesting because, like I said, I had never heard of that process, probably because I focus so much on secondary. But that's really interesting. I think by activating that background knowledge and then, kind of focusing on building their understandings of the word, it helps. I guess trickles into helping the student become more automatic with those words. That's great. Anybody have any questions for Rhonda? No? Okay. That worked out just fine.
I'm sorry about that.
So, technology problems, let me know.
Right.
No, are you kidding? I've had students have had to email me their presentations that I'm not talking me through it. I think a few of you guys sat through a couple of sessions like that. It happens, Rhonda. It's so just make sure tomorrow night y'all have pulled everything into Blackboard so I can pull them. I like me give you your grade, and I can also pull them into that folder and share ours. All right, so here we go. Who would like to go next? I think I've got 1, 2. All right, so let's see. I know you're in my content class, is that correct? I'm trying to remember. So kind of, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of, like I said, mouse down bottom, share should give you the choice to choose desktop, and then click share screen, and we should see what you're seeing on your screen instead of we're seeing, which is basically everybody's faces.
Okay.
All right, it worked really well. Got it.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, awesome. I did my presentation on vocabulary, and it's more a tool that can be utilized by teachers. First of all, kids know a vocabulary word when they know the meaning of the word, they know the word parts, they know the grammar, they know the connotations, they know synonyms of the word, and they can use it. It's very important to immerse students into vocabulary by reading. Reading is the primary way students do pick up new vocabulary. These are some more helpful hints for teaching vocabulary. Provide definitions of contextual examples, which would be immerse them in a huge amount of book reading, or not even book reading, online reading, any kind of reading. Ask students to restate it in their own words. Ask students to draw pictures or symbols of the word. Engage the student with the content that contains new words. Ask students to periodically discuss new words. Engage student in games that provide exposure in practice. It's always a good idea to make learning fun. And I'm all for that, to make the lessons positive and a fun way to learn. The major way students do learn is by reading and also writing and restating what they have learned in their own words. Also, I found very, very neat websites for vocabulary enrichment. As you see, Inside Story, flashcards. This is a fun, interactive website that they can play memory games, all sorts of games with vocabulary. I found this one. I have never seen this one before. It actually builds the word out where you can see it with a map. So it maps the word and the meaning of the word, which I thought that was very awesome. The Frayer model is a good model graphic organizer for teaching words. It's very simple. You input the word. You write down the meaning. You also provide examples and then non-examples. Repetitive drilling. Students need to be drilled a lot, over and over and over with the same words. Immerse students in the vocabulary. Utilize books and vocabulary being taught. So the books that you bring into your classroom should have the vocabulary that you are teaching. Read, drill, drill, drill. The students constantly need to be drilled on the vocabulary. Support the learning process through games and activities. Word-picture relationship. Have visuals of the vocabulary words up. So students not only hear the meaning, they actually see the meaning. And it's a good way for them to remember what has been taught in classroom and have them use that vocabulary in their writing. Using the vocabulary, it supports learning of the word. Here's another good graphic organizer where you put the word right here, definition, they can draw a picture, use it in a sentence, synonym, antonym, suffixes, parts of speech, and related words. And it could just be basic, as long as they're grasping the concept of what is being taught. That's all that they're proving to you. It doesn't have to be fancy or long sentences. This is another one. This is called a context clue graphic organizer. You put the word down, a sentence, what I think it means, what are my context clues, and then the dictionary definition. Word Bingo is a wonderful tool to use, and it makes it fun, and you can even give away prizes or free computer time if they win the game, you know, some sort of treat that is a positive reinforcement for learning. This is Making Words, which is a wonderful way of teaching vocabulary and also spelling. I picked out 2 videos. They're really short and they go over some helpful hints if they work. If not, that's okay too. Okay. Can you see it? You can't see it? Can you hear it?
I can't see it, but I can hear it.
Huh?
No. You know what? If we can't see it, it's not because we're going to have access to your PowerPoint, and everybody, you know what? Why don't y'all, like, you know, if you're looking through for, especially if you're looking at vocabulary strategies, check out the videos. For some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah, check out the videos.
I can't. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like my screen froze up for some reason. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay, but what she's teaching is using the students get digital cameras to teach to learn vocabulary. So they go outside and take pictures of what they're learning, and it's a support. It's a great support.
That's great.
And that
seems like a lot of the strategy dealt with context. What kind of visual context can you use for what you know about meaning. And that's so important, especially when, if all you have is the written definition, even if it's in student-friendly terms, but with some words, especially, let's say, like those tier 3 words, the academically, specific words, sometimes looking and seeing what the word means is going to help so much more. It just really depends on your content. It depends on what you're teaching. But those that visual context is really, really powerful with words like emit. That was a great example on that one PowerPoint slide you were showing.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any? No problem. Does anybody else have any questions for Laura? Okay. Great job, Laura. Awesome. Hey, you know what? I think we got 3 more to go. 3 more presentations and we're done with presentations yet. And you know what? I know I'm going long, but I kind of feel bad stopping y'all because your presentations are really good. So just y'all are doing great. Kind of give handles like you've got it, or maybe you're at 6 minutes. If it's no big deal. Just I don't think we're going as over as we were on Friday. Friday was like going crazy overtime on Friday. So I know I've got a few more that need to go. I think it looks like I have Lupita, Stephanie, and Amanda. Not bad. I only have 3 more. Who wants to go next? All right, Amanda's next. Okay, I saw her, but Amanda, go next. I'm going to go ahead and put, no offense, y'all, I'm going to put everybody on mute because we're getting a little bit of feedback, just a little bit of feedback. That way we can hear Amanda when she gives her presentation. So do you know how to do the share screen?
Yes. Figured it out, I think.
Perfect. You just did it. Awesome. Okay, great.
Okay.
Sonia's waving it.
Hi, Sonia. Okay, so let me try and go through this really fast.
And I'm going to put myself on mute too.
Okay. So I also did a presentation on vocabulary. I kind of really focused on just what is vocabulary and how does it tie into school, teaching, and our everyday lives. So the dictionary defines vocabulary as a body of words used in a particular language, words used on a particular occasion or in a particular sphere, or the body of words known to an individual person. I put this graphic in because it helped me visualize the process of learning new vocabulary. So they always link it to comprehension, and the more you comprehend, the more context you'll get and learn new vocabulary. Vocabulary equals success. Most of the articles that I read or blogs that I read and saw linked vocabulary to high success. I liked this quote: vocabulary enables us to interpret and to express. If you have a limited vocabulary, you will also have a limited vision and a limited future. And then success and vocabulary go hand in hand. This has been proven so often that it no longer admits of argument. So I thought that was interesting. Some of the research that I read suggests that vocabulary is a strong variable in predicting comprehension. And I only read a few because, articles are long. And a lot of them, they focused on, the method was a correlation, and it was always a correlation between comprehension and vocabulary, and it was high and strong. They based it on curriculum that the schools were using, and so I guess content area was a lot of the focus. And then their recommendations were pretty much all the same, which is read more. The more you read, the more you will learn new vocabulary. Some more on vocabulary. I put the strengths of having a higher vocabulary. You improve your speaking. You'll take away some of the ums that I'm doing right now. I guess if you have a better vocabulary, you communicate more effectively, builds a foundation of comprehension, builds a better future in the workplace. Most people will have a higher income because of that, and better writing skills. Low vocabulary speakers struggle with their education. They have difficulty communicating. They cannot read as well or as much. It limits an individual, and the cycle usually continues onto their children. So kind of like what Alexa pointed out earlier. And so I just thought this meme was funny. So apparently vocabulary does make a difference. And then now I was going to focus on vocabulary size. I thought it was interesting to know that the average 20-something-year-old knows 42,000 words, and they can learn up to 2 new words per day until the age of 60, where they'll reach 62,000. And so that's about an average. That website has some really great information. And so then I focused on how we get the vocabulary into our word bank, how we even create that. So how do you make deposits? I kind of made a comparison between that and a bank deposit. You know, you get a job and you earn your money, but where does your money go? You have to go put it in the bank. And in order to do that, you fill out the deposit slip, which is, you know, you're kind of creating that connection and applying it. And then you keep applying it by balancing your checkbook, knowing what you know. So practicing with that vocabulary keeps you up to date. So then I tested myself, and I didn't do so well on this first try. I only ranked 1220 out of the 4,200. The timer kind of caught me off guard. It was really fast, but it was really fun. So this would be something that I think a higher grade level could probably use in their class, and, you know, just for fun for them to try and beat that score the next time, which I did the next time. So then vocabulary building, I liked this image because it's kind of the age group that I work with, and, you know, the best time is to start now and start when they're young. I went to Sonia's class this past week, and I worked with the same little boy, and I did that activity that she was showing you earlier, but without the movable letters. So I just thought it was something neat that they can do to build their vocabulary. I learned that that little green flower in the corner is called a mum. So, you know, you're always kind of learning even with little words. And then I liked that a lot of our readings have dealt with, you know, having fun with technology, because it's today, you know, that's what kids like today. And so Flocabulary is a great little resource, and it has a bunch of songs that highlight important words that are specific to themes or new knowledge. It's made to meet the interests of today's youth, and they're able to use root words and common meanings, and then you can test for comprehension too. So that'd be some fun homework. And then I put a video in there, but I see that my internet's kind of running slow, so I'm not even going to try. It's just an example of how they implement it in the class. Y'all can look at that. And then I also saw a lot of Marzano's 6 steps in a lot of the readings that I did. So I put those on there. And, you know, it's basically, you know, you introduce the new word and you go beyond just reciting its definition, you know, tap into their prior knowledge, help them build that connection, restate, have the students restate or explain the new word in their own words, you know, have them do the pictures, symbolic representation, have them work together in groups, compare their terms and their definitions that they've created on their own, discuss, and then have fun with it, you know, play a game, do something that can help them really have that concrete knowledge. And so basically my overall picture was, you know, stop memorizing words and connect it to experience, because that's the general theme of everything that I saw going on. And so that was it, the end. And those are my resources, some of them. So.
That was really good. I think you're the first one to kind of focus on your older kids and using vocabulary.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, it's really to engage them in learning new words and kind of interesting and fun ways. And a lot of teachers have used vocabulary really effectively. And so I'm going to look at your video later when I look at your PowerPoint. I want to look at that video because it is kind of watching kids use that in middle schools a lot to help, you know, teach kids new words. Anyway, good job. And don't even worry. You know what? Seriously, I think everybody has that vocabulary area about your score on that test. I bet you my vocabulary in some areas is super high. In other areas, I don't, you know, my husband talks about computer stuff, what he's out. So, you know, it's going to depend on your interest and what you're doing in life, where you're going to land. So if they're giving me a lot of, you know, working with automotive or computer terminology, I'm going to, you know, whatever. So yeah, seriously fun looking. I said this over again. You guys, your vocabulary, that's my timer, by the way. Your vocabulary presentations are already different, but they complement each other so well. And I'm hoping that you guys, like I said, look at the ones that were presented on Friday and yesterday and kind of see the take they have. And I know for a fact, one of the vocabulary presentations talked about the number of words in the English language compared to the average number of words we learn throughout our lifetime, which goes along with some of the information you guys shared. So it's really some fascinating kind of interactions going on between y'all's, you know, y'all's presentations. It's been great. Okay, so that was Amanda, who I see y'all. I've got Lupita and I've got Stephanie's raising her hand. All right, you want to go then? Great. So you're a pro at this thing, right? At this whole sharing the screen thing.
Can y'all hear me?
Try to remember.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I had you during the summer when we used this. Were you in my class last summer?
Yes.
You know how to do the share screen?
Well, I was doing it in tablet, and now I have a laptop, so let's hope this works.
Okay, the screen where you see our faces, kind of mouse over the bottom, and there's a green button that says share screen. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so click on that. Window pops up. Click on desk and hit share screen. There we go. Perfect. You got it. I'm going to let you take it away. Okay, Stephanie? By the way, would you rather me call you Steph? Would you rather I call you Steph? Okay. Yeah. Okay, Steph. Sounds good. Okay.
Okay, so I'm doing mine on vocab, but it's kind of what teachers, students, and parents can do to help their kids get better at vocab. So it is very important that our students are developing the vocabulary necessary in order to effectively communicate. If a student does not understand or does not have enough vocabulary when engaging in a conversation, they will not be able to fully understand what is being communicated. Students will also not be able to successfully communicate their message due to lack of vocabulary. When reading something, students might find themselves confused because they don't understand the content. But fortunately, there is many things parents, teachers, and the kids themselves can do in order to enhance their reading and vocabulary skills. Okay, students might often be reluctant to doing tasks assigned to them, such as reading a sentence. They might often say things like, I don't want to do this, or it's stupid. When kids say this, they're expressing the difficulty they have understanding the vocabulary. If they were able to successfully express themselves, they may say things such as, I don't want to watch a movie, I don't really understand what they're saying throughout the movie, or I cannot read, I don't understand the words on here. Parents and teachers need to understand that instead of thinking their child's being a rebel for not wanting to do this, to get them the strategies they need and encourage them to pick up books on their own time. Once we help them develop those strategies, they'll start doing the things on their own. It's not just a teacher's responsibility to help the students out. Their parents should also be on the lookout for clues that might tell them that the kids are struggling. These things could be the kids not being able to put sentences together, or they're misusing common words. Parents can do so many things to help their kids out, such as reading daily, having meaningful conversations with their kids, and introducing new vocab and letting kids know the importance of reading. Teachers are usually the ones that catch on first when kids are having a difficult time with reading and vocabulary. They usually look out for students who are asking questions about vocab that they should know by now, or the students not making connections in the reading. Teachers can do a lot of things, such as having meaningful conversation with students, reading daily, review the meaning of new difficult words, and helping students learn new reading strategies. There is evidence that vocabulary knowledge can be acquired through reading and discussion, but it's more effective when the instruction is directed. Don't assume students would just pick up the vocab. They need to have that direct instruction. And I have this very interesting video. It's short, but again, my internet is running kind of slow. So if y'all can just watch it on y'all's own time, because it's very, very interesting. And it's only like 3 minutes long. And then I have my resources.
That was really good. I liked your take on actually thinking about the, kinds of behavior, because you're high school, correct? So you're going to see different kinds of behaviors from kids that they don't understand the content of the text or the content of the video. And of course they're going to push back, but they're not going to push back in a way that says, help, I don't understand this. They're teenagers, for goodness sake, and express themselves differently. So I like yours because it kind of talks to those teachers who see themselves working with perhaps older elementary, maybe school, high school students who are still struggling with the vocabulary. So thank you. That was really great. That was good. Does anyone have any questions for Steph? She teaches high school Spanish. So she comes to us from a kind of a different sort of lens, I guess, because she's a teacher and she sees students dealing with vocabulary, I'm assuming, all the time. Okay. Good job, Steph. I'm really looking forward to pulling all of these into a folder for you guys. I think we only have one more presenter. Let me go ahead and turn, I got my timer on, and I'll tell you what, I think Steph, you were the first one to, good job. No, that was great. That was good. 5 minutes. It's really hard to keep these to 5 minutes. And I love you guys having to kind of power through your slides, but you're doing a great job. Lupita, here we go. Are you there? Can you hear us okay, Lupita? And right now I'm going to make sure everybody else is on mute. Okay. I type something to her. Ask if she can hear us. I think you can send me a message privately if you just choose my name only. If you're having issues, I can send you a message privately. That way everybody doesn't see everything that I'm writing. So that's kind of a nice little tool here. Okay, try something. I'm letting her know that we can hear her. I'm going to ask if her volume's on. Well, okay. I'm going to say if you want, you can ask her. Go ahead and start. Whoa. Her presentation. Walk through it, and I'll shoot her any messages through the comments. I'll type you any messages or comments. Does that sound good? Okay. Let me see. I kind of try to see if I could talk her through it. I think for some reason the audio, she's not able to hear us. I know we hear her. I think I hear the TV in the background. I've got everybody else on mute except for myself. So what happens? See, try. I'm gonna tell her to try the share screen. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna see her presentation. I'm gonna tell her that we can see it. We can see it. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be kind of like we're gonna do the best we can. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This, oh, she's doing it. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, good. Okay. Put myself on mute. Oh, she hears. Okay, well, you know what, Lupita, if you can hear me now, go ahead and just, present your presentation. Or if we have any questions or comments, you guys, you're going to be able to hear.
And I didn't get to hear what y'all were saying, so
it's okay.
This is kind of.
I'm sorry, I'm recording it though.
But I chose to do my presentation over vocabulary. And the reason I chose that is because being in the school district, I've noticed that that's one of the things that hinders our students. And I really feel like they can't comprehend what they're reading because they might not be able to understand what they're reading because of the vocabulary. That's a big setback for them. So what I know about vocabulary, I do know that the vocabulary background needs to be there for the students in order for them to be successful. They hear a lot of informal language at home, and that's what they bring into the classroom, and I think that's another reason their vocabulary isn't there. That also doesn't match up with the vocabulary on the STAR test. I know after the STAR test, our students will ask me about a certain word, and I'm like, we can't talk about that or whatever. But then later on in the next year, I'll bring up those vocabulary words that my students had brought up to me the year before that they didn't know on the STAR test. I think that also blocks them from doing the best that they can on the STAR test because they don't understand the wording. And then, of course, as teachers, we need to give them the opportunities to have those vocabulary enrichment activities so that they can build their vocabulary words. And then I put this slide on there just to show the differences between the informal and formal language. We use ask when we can use inquire, or instead of saying let's check our work, we can start saying let's verify our work, just to give them that other vocabulary word to choose from. And then there's the rest of the list there. So I thought that was really neat. That's something I want to start doing in the classroom as well, because I do find myself also speaking informally. So I need to be that role model for my students and speak more in the formal language so that they can grasp those words. So through the research that I read on vocabulary, I learned that many students can spell the words, but then when they see it in the book, they can't comprehend it because they've only learned how to spell it, so they don't know the meaning behind it. So one of the things I want to start working on is more vocabulary in the classroom versus the spelling words, because I find that to be true in my classroom too. I have students who can make hundreds on spelling words, but then when they see those same words in the book, they don't make the connection. So definitely we're going to be working on vocabulary this year. And we just need to help our students expand their vocabulary. And there's many different activities that we can do in the classroom besides just memorization. So that's one of the things I want to start incorporating in the classroom as well. I really liked this cartoon that shows the difference between spelling and vocabulary. What does the word face mean in the sentence? He was only trying to say face. A, the front of the head. B, to look at something. C, the surface of the solid. Or D, dignity. And then at the bottom it says, call me strange, but if this is me, I'd want to say the front of my head. I thought that was really neat because a lot of our students are going to think face has to do with the body part, but in reality it was the dignity. We want to save our dignity. This was a really nice video that I found on YouTube, and it's different experts talking about the importance of vocabulary versus spelling. So I thought this went really well with what I was trying to say, and I put that in here. I don't know if y'all can see it or we're supposed to show it, but on the PowerPoint, if you press play, it would play for you. It's about 3 minutes long.
We can see it so far. Let me see, it plays.
Are there ramifications for kids who enter school with limited vocabulary, and what are those ramifications?
Horrendous. The relationship between knowledge of word meanings and comprehension is, some people say, a 0.9. It's like almost the same thing. If you know the meanings of lots and lots and lots of words, the likelihood is a 0.9 likelihood that you will be a good comprehender. Now, what to do about that is the big issue, because lots of kids are going to enter school with with very limited vocabularies, and certainly limited to these literate words that are in subsequent texts. And I think the answer is teach big words to little kids and do it interestingly.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to show the whole video or not, but that kind of gives you the gist of what the video was going to be about.
No, that was really,
and I don't know
it's
how
really
to get back to
interesting.
my
I think later, yeah, I think later we'll go in and look at that. That looks really good. Okay. Well, that was, yeah,
okay,
awesome.
This,
okay.
report I found on Reading Rockets, and it's called Building Background Knowledge, and it goes over different activities that you can do in the classroom as well. And basically, vocabulary is very important to reading comprehension. And if you click on here, it'll take you to the report. And it's just, it goes hand in hand, vocabulary and comprehension, and it just gives you some more statistics and things that you can do. So I thought that was really neat. I'm learning. Let's see. How did I get back to the PowerPoint? Okay. This is another report that I found on Scholastic called Understanding Vocabulary. Again, they need to have that strong vocabulary background in order to be able to comprehend. And then this was my conclusion. Vocabulary instruction is non-negotiable. I mean, it's just basic good teacher practice. We should be teaching vocabulary with fidelity if we want our students to improve their overall reading comprehension. And I love this little Dr. Seuss quote. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. I think that's true not just for our students, but for us as well, which is probably why we're here. And then, of course, this is my bibliography, where I found all my websites and reports. The end.
Awesome. Very nice. Can you hear me, Lupita? Can you hear me okay? I'm going to go ahead and type up some things because you might not be able to hear right now. But it was kind of neat. I'm going to type this too. It was nice to put a face with a name. With some people, I think, video. I know I'm going to be looking at that video. So I can see more of what they were saying about the importance of vocabulary. It was put a face with a name in your video. Thanks for sharing. And that's really good that even though she can't hear us, she was able to actually do her presentation. That worked out really, really well. Okay. I think everybody presented. Awesome. So let me type that up. And I'm going to let her know that, and if she can't hear, to look at the video that I'm doing of our session, I'm going to say, listen to the video of this session later to hear what we talk about. I'm going to say regarding the Module 2 assignment. Or not the Module 2, but the TEKS assignment. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So that's all I want to do with you guys. Really great presentations. I love the variety that we had. Lots of vocabulary presentations, but they were all different in many, many ways. So what I'm going to do is just talk to you about one more thing, and I'm going to let y'all go because it's Sunday, and I'm sure you guys want to have fun today. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. It went longer than planned, of course, but it always seems to do that. I'm getting into Blackboard real quick because I just want to kind of share with you guys that CHAL's reading development with y'all, so you kind of understand how to use that in that TEKS assignment. So I'm going to put that up and share my screen. I've got it right here. So let me go to share screen real quick. This hopefully, for whatever reason, my computer doesn't let me. Here we go. I'm trying to get to share screen and it's not cooperating with me. This is like in my day. Here we go. I think I got it. Let's see. Open. There we go. Now I'm going to get it. Oh, continue. Share screen. Just understand it's going to, you're to see a whole bunch of nonsense on the screen because I only have one screen today. See, look, I see y'all. You see your faces now. So here's the document. So what you guys have, and I'll minimize that so we're not looking at that, and you're not self-conscious, because I know I get self-conscious when I see my face there. So what I have here is the document that's Challenges of Reading Development, and this is research-based. Jean Chal studied developmental reading and literacy, and this is from 1983, of course, it's old, but her ideas of what is developmentally appropriate at certain ages and grade levels. And so this is pretty much, when you look at that chart that I showed you guys last week, this has pretty much done a lot of the work for you on the chart. You just kind of need to take your strand and align it with the ages and grade levels on this chart as well. And so on your chart, you see here, preschool, this is going to go under kindergarten. This is all of what Jean Chal said was appropriate for kindergarten. So here, if you look at your strand, TEKS, whatever strand you chose, and I know I've got one student he's doing purposes for reading. He's noticing already that when it comes to reading purpose, you start with the student's purpose to read and it changes to author's purpose, and so. So, no, it's okay. Any questions? I'm making sure y'all are everything okay. Y'all okay? Okay.
I can still hear you.
Oh, you can. Good. Okay. Well, stay on then. That sounds good. So if you take a look at Chal's list, you've got your chart that's broken down by kinder, first grade, second grade, third grade, just like the TEKS. We're all in Texas, so I can say TEKS and no one's going to be too confused. That's great. But this is going to be different because you'll notice she this kind of range. So first grade, beginning of second grade. So here, you might want to place this under first and second grade. So what should kids be doing? First grade, beginning of second grade, they should be learning the relationships between letters and sounds, between printed words. I was able to read simple text containing high-frequency words and phonetically regular words. Uses skills and insights to sound out new syllable words. So now take a look at your TEKS as you go. It may not be addressed by Jean Chal on this chart, to the strand you're using. But once you start getting to where the TEKS are speaking to these developmental levels, does it seem to align? Does it seem to match up? Are we asking too much of our young children with literacy, or does it seem TEKS pretty much had it developmentally correct all the way through? You guys decide what strand you're going to follow. It may be related to phonics, it may be related to retention. It depends on whichever strand you chose. When it comes right down to it, that's what we're doing with this assignment. We're thinking about the TEKS. We're thinking about this, research-based. It's research-based. It's telling what based on her research should be developmentally appropriate for children, and then make a comparison. What do you think compared to what Chal says and what the TEKS are saying? Does it seem like we need to consider making some changes, or leave that wide open to you, because you may find nothing's wrong with your strand, and that's fine. You can speak to that. If there is some issues that you see when it comes to what we want our fourth graders doing with a text based on your strand and what this developmental level is saying for people to do on the right age. Ask yourself, is this developmentally appropriate? Okay. Does that assignment, the TEKS assignment, make sense to you guys? Doesn't, and you're maybe not confident enough right now or comfortable enough right now to just say it out loud right now, email me, hang on the line for a few minutes and ask the questions.
Are we going to
One last thing before I let y'all go. Someone has a question? I'm sorry?
Are we going to stop at stage 4?
You know what? What I want you to do is go because we're going to be doing all the way through high school grade, the chart. We're going to do all the way to 12th grade. And so see right here in stage 5,
mm-hmm.
You know what? That's a good point. Because you consider that possibly beyond 12th grade. Yeah, go ahead and stop at stage 4, I guess, if you're only doing through high school. I'm looking at this now. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And I mean, maybe in class next time we meet online, we could talk about that 5th stage. You know, do you feel like kids entering these are at this level, or are we expecting them to be beyond this level when they step into like an English 1 classroom, when they step into their classes where they're expected to do a certain type of writing or a certain type of reading and things like that? That would be a great discussion to have.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, that's I think was that Rhonda who asked that?
Yes.
That's a very good question. That was a very good question. Okay. All right, so I can let you guys go. We're going to go over one more thing. And right here, what I was trying to do was get to the Blackboard, because I do want to look at Blackboard, and I have to have my phone speak to my computer. And it's so much fun. Thank goodness my computer actually charged today. So I don't know when y'all can log in. Oh, goodness, hang on. It's been so long that I asked to Blackboard that it forgot I needed to go to Blackboard. So yay, fun stuff. Let me do it this way. Perfect. It should let me in now. Okay. You guys have a discussion question, and we just don't have time to actually talk about it here. So what is, I'm going to do something this a little differently, and I think it's going to work just fine. And so I'm pulling PowerPoint right now. Stay here. So here's our class. Here's Module 2. And what's good at Module 2 this time is click it. If you know that you want to skip straight to the discussion module, you don't have to page through it anymore. It's not like I need you guys to do everything in a particular step-by-step fashion, so it's fine. When you get your question, it says, discuss any revelations you had after our discussion on the differences and similarities across national and state standards. We didn't have time for that. So what I'm going to do for you guys, I haven't finished it yet because I've had lots of like online discussions. I've got 2 classes, yay. And no, actually it's been fun, but it's amazing, and that's okay. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create for you guys a PowerPoint talking about state versus national standards. Has anybody ever had a class where you talked about the NAEP, the NAEP assessments, and the way we measure proficiency in the states and the nations and how they're compared? You might not have, and this might be the start, and fine, that's great. I think I only had 1 student who really had a background in that a couple days ago, and that's fine. But what I'm creating for you guys is a point that addresses a lot of that stuff. I talk about the NAEP. I'm going to talk to you guys about how we define grade levels and how, especially in compares or contrasts with those exams and the assessments given by the federal. I don't know if y'all know that, but every year or every couple of years, they give a test of reading and mathematics and writing to a selected group of schools, of students across the country. And then they compare the results on that exam, and they compare that exam to other years. And it kind of shows, okay, which states seem to be performing above the national average, which states seem to be performing below the national average. I'm going to share some snapshots with you guys, some web pages with y'all that looks at all those states that performed below and all the states that performed above. And when I talk to you guys about how they put that test there, I want you guys to come to maybe some conclusions to why you think those states that are performing lower than the other states, why might that be happening? I think it's going to really kind of make your discussion for Module 2, a lot more, it's going to make for a really great discussion. You guys are going to have a lot of, hopefully, insights into what's going on when we test. When I say we, I mean as a country. I don't mean I'm in there developing it, because it would be look a lot different than it does. But when we look at it, we could take in consideration, how on earth do you make one exam that's going to be applied to such a variety of different states with different populations, with different demographics? And so, again, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to put it in. I'm hoping to have it done today. I wanted to have it done yesterday. Didn't happen. But when it's in there, I'm going to be talking through it. So you're going to play. It's going to be a video. It's going to. You're not even going to see my face. You're going to see the slideshow. You're going to hear my voice, and then I'm going to take you through different pages and show you different websites and show you some data that you may have never known about or maybe considered when we start thinking about state and national standards. Okay. What I want you to do basically is wait to answer that discussion question until you watch the video. And that video is going to be ready. And the only reason I'm doing the video is we don't have time about it today. It's like an hour and a half, and I need to let you guys go. Sound good? So do the discussion question after you watch the PowerPoint/video. And then once you do that, I can't wait to see what kinds of things you say. If you don't agree, then by all means, tell me. Write about it. Argue with me. But if you agree, or maybe you've got some experiences that sort of match, maybe contrast with what I have to share with you, bring that up. Because, you know, we all come from different places. We all come from different experiences. My experience as a teacher, I taught middle school, Title I schools, 7th grade mostly. I've got kindergarten, pre-K teachers. I have teachers working in public schools and in private schools. People coming into the education field from other careers. So I want to hear what you have to say based on what I'm going to share with you guys about the standards. Okay? Sound like a deal? I can let you all go and enjoy your Sunday. Okay. If you want to hang on and ask questions, go right ahead. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. These were really great. Make sure you pull up your PowerPoints into the Blackboard so I can give you a grade. And then I can also share it with the rest of the class. So we have all those resources to help build your strategy books. Have a great Sunday, y'all.
Thank you.
Go Astros.
Yay, go Astros. Yeah. I have one question, so I'm just going to wait.
Here, Alexa. And if anybody's thinking, they might have questions too, and that's okay.
So I guess my only question was, are we meeting, I just wanted to clarify to make sure, are we meeting every weekend, or is it going to fluctuate?
Pretty much. If you got Sunday at noon, we can do Sunday at noon. If, like yesterday, I had, for my other class, I had one person and that's what I'm going to do then is I'm going to revisit. I'm going to say, a lot of people like Saturday on the Doodle poll. I like the other one better, or the Sunday or the Monday. That one I'm doing Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They liked another day better, and that's the case. Okay, but then that means I need to do away with the Saturday meeting because it was Phyllis. It was just me and Phyllis, and that's fine. But at the same time, Phyllis had lots of great things to share, but no one got to see it. So now, you guys, I really want you guys to see her vocabulary lesson that I'm gonna put. It was vocabulary, but it's different. It's a different take on a lot of what you guys said, and it's just as relevant as whatever.
Okay, I think I was, because over the summer, I know we would do a doodle poll each week, and so I didn't know if it was like the same days for, I didn't know what the doodle poll meant that was the same for the whole 7-week course, or if there'd be a different doodle poll that came out. I think that was just my only confusion. So,
initially I was thinking, you know what, we've got 7 weeks, let's try to stick to the same schedule. Right. But now I'm thinking, you know what, it looks like the Saturday session kind of apart, so I have to revisit the poll, and that's okay. And perhaps what I'll say is, okay, email me or the doodle poll. Tell me what day. That way, if I only have Phyllis filling out Saturday and everybody else is filling out Sunday and Friday, then I might say, hey, Phyllis, is there any you can these 2 days? Or I can say, maybe we need to meet twice on Saturday or Sunday, or twice on Friday.
Okay, perfect.
So, it'll help me have a better idea of what times y'all like the best, because like I said, it was just Phyllis. We had a short quick talk, We were done in 30 minutes. But I wasn't going to say, call, this tomorrow because she carved time out of her day and I didn't want overtime. So, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, initially, Alexa, this was the days, but I think I need to send out something going to let more specifically the days you will meet, because some of you guys filled out lots of times. So, yeah, we'll do it that way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sundays at noon, unless something happens. Sunday at noon seems popular. So chances are we'll still keep meeting at Sunday unless something happens on a Sunday where nobody can meet, and we'll see what happens. We're playing it by ear. I think Fletcher is kind of do, but I think we're the only two that does it. So we're kind of experimenting with meeting some face-to-face time with you guys. I think it's because you guys talk to me, you ask me your questions, whereas when it's fully online, we don't have that opportunity. So, yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday.
Okay. You too.
I have a question.
Sure.
Were you able to speak to the principal from West Osa?
I've sent 3 emails and I still haven't, I don't know why I haven't gotten a response, and it's driving me it's making me a little bit stressed out. So to say the least. What's bad about next weekend though is next weekend I'm at a conference, and I know you wanted to do Saturday schools. And so what I might do tomorrow, and I'm not joking when I say this, I might go after school tomorrow up to tutoring, and I'm going to meet the principal. I'm going to say, hi. I don't know if they're losing my emails or if maybe they're getting put in I don't know what's happening. I think she wants you guys to help, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting a response, and I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to be super friendly, but I'm going to show up tomorrow and I'm going to say, hi, I'm Dr. Bippert, and I'm going to meet her and I'll say, tell them that I've got a couple of students who are very eager to help out on Saturday schools. And you were interested in Saturday school, right? Yeah, right. Was it Saturday school or Saturday school? Saturdays.
Saturday
okay,
school,
so I'll make sure she knows that, because, honestly, this is all. And if I'm thinking back to when I taught Saturday schools, it's hard sometimes to get teachers to show up to Saturday schools. And if that's the case, it'd be great to have some master students with teaching experience working with their 6th, 7th, and 8th, or I should say 7th and 8th graders. So that's what I'm going to have to do tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Meet her face-to-face at a time when I know I can get her face-to-face.
Okay, sounds good then. Thank you.
And I've been worried for you guys, and so we'll figure something out.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right. You too.